Okay, we already talked about what the men bring to the table thing. You said hookup culture has killed romance. When the priority becomes your roster or how many people you've slept with, which is an incredibly tacky question, by the way. You aren't interested in wowing someone. Making someone feel special and being romantic doesn't have to be expensive, and it's never something you should have to ask for. For a guy who really values you, he does it automatically. No matter how strong the girl is, she wants someone who wants to make her feel special. A lot of things people get excited about are the bare fucking minimum. The bar is in hell from modern dating. Do you want to elaborate on that?
I think that pretty much said it. I think hookup culture in general has really kind of invalidated romance and has really done away with it. And I don't think people really try and pursue or wow or date people anymore. It seems very casual and hookup oriented, and it's just not how I work.
You said here, which is an incredibly tacky question, by the way. Mm-hmm. Do you mean the body count question? Mm-hmm. Why is it tacky?
I just don't think that's something that's appropriate to ask. I think on either end, I don't think a girl should ask a guy. I don't think a guy should ask a girl.
Why is it tacky?
Because I find it to be
Don't
tacky.
you think that it could give some serious indicators as to the character of the person?
I think if you have to ask a question like that, you don't know the person very well, and you would know how they treat you. You would know how they are as a person. I don't think that question
But
is
if you're
like
looking
the
at it from a
be-all.
logical standpoint, right? If you're going to be with somebody for the rest of your life, or if that's what you're aiming to do, and you know that all of the statistical indicators point towards women with a lower body count being much more likely to have long marriages and not divorce their husbands, don't you think if that was a really key factor to that you'd investigate it?
I really don't think it's that important.
Yeah, not for you maybe, but can you understand why it would be important for a guy?
I see why in general it's important. I also don't want a man that's been with a million women. I think it's gross in general either way. If somebody has been like super hypersexually active with either sex, but that's just my opinion.
I think you should ask a girl her body count before you even meet her. And I don't think it's tacky at all. You can ask it on the first date.
I'll allude to it on the first date, yeah.
I mean, she also don't have to tell you, like, she could be
Oh,
like,
yeah,
oh,
they could lie.
she could be like,
Well, they shouldn't lie.
she told
Lie
us
all
her
the
body
time.
counts too. She could have slept with 15 people for all we know, and she's telling us it's two.
Sure,
we don't
she could
know
be
that.
lying. We don't know.
And it's
don't
like,
know.
so
But if you're going to be lying at the start like that, I think there will be indicators as to the person's character. Like they're lying about something significant like that,
but how
then
would you
that lie
know?
will grow and there'll be much worse lies.
How would you know?
Because I think what I'm
Sure.
saying though is that like that's an indicator, and then if they're dishonest about that, they're going to be dishonest about other big
But
things
how
as
would you
well.
know unless you
Because what I'm
actually
saying
grew
is
up
that
with this person?
If you're with somebody who's like a compulsive liar, eventually you start to put the pieces together and you start to realize, oh, this person, this doesn't add up, this doesn't add up. And then you'll put the pieces together and realize, oh, this person's just a liar. I've known a few of these people in my life. And they can actually fool you for a little while, but then eventually they just run out of steam. And normally these people have to bounce from relationship to relationship. So if there are big lies from the start, there are going to be more big lies. If you're coming in with it with a dishonest slate, then there's going to be more lies, and you'll notice for sure. And generally as well, you can tell by the way that she is. You can assess her past as well and some of her characteristics now. And then also, if you get to the freaky stuff, you can tell then as well. You can really tell.
Because of why? Because of the vagina?
Well, that can be a factor, but also because of the experience level.
What
as
if
well.
they had a lot of experience with that one person? What if that one person was like, hey, look at this porn. This is how I want you to give me head. Hey, look at how she's throwing it back here. That's how I want you to do it. Or what if like you sat there and taught your person exactly how you like it, and then now they're on to someone else?
Well, if they'd had long-term relationships in the past, then that would be a positive indicator that they haven't had lots of sexual experience. So that would contribute to it. But if they're like, I've been single for so long, I've only slept with like 2 guys or whatever, and then you get it and they're throwing it back and hawk touring it, then, you'd ask some questions. But there are indicators. You're never going to know. If somebody's lying, they can get away with it. But there are indicators.
So guys don't like girls that that are good in bed?
Look, there are going to be like guys are going to like having sex with girls who are good in bed, right? That's always going to happen. If a girl there are going to be guys who want to have sex with porn stars because of because of the pure sexual experience. But when it comes to who you're looking for long term, then no, I've got absolutely zero problem with teaching someone, and even with if I had to wait until to get married for her to have sex, I'd have no problem with that.
I think, look, ask it before you even meet up with her. You meet her on a dating app, what's her body count? Fuck it. I don't think it's tacky though.
I would. Like if somebody
don't
asked me that, I wouldn't find that. I
But-
wouldn't want to date somebody
So
like that.
here's the thing.
I
And
wouldn't
I
wanna
don't
date
even
someone
have a
who
high
didn't
one. I
wanna
just don't
answer
think
that
it's
question.
respectful.
I feel like
It's not
it-
respectful?
It weeds
I
out.
don't think it's respectful
I
personally.
mean, but hold on, just to be clear, you want a guy to pay for the first date, right?
yeah.
Okay.
If he's asking me on a date,
So, but because the guy's trying to assess a numerical number when it comes to your sexual history. You, by wanting a guy to pay for the first date, are assessing him on a numerical number. His money.
But you're also assessing him on his masculine virtue as well.
yeah.
And he's going to assess you on your feminine
If it's
virtue.
like a walk through the park kind of thing, it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be him paying. But I'm saying if he's the one initiating the date, I want him to take.
But you don't initiate dates.
Right. I wouldn't because
but-
I want somebody who.
But it's the sentiment, though. It's the sentiment of you wanting that sort of masculine virtue out of him.
Right.
And as a man, he will have certain things that he cares about, and that might be just one of them.
Right.
But
I
I
would
guess
find
my-
that like respect for me is the biggest thing. And you might not agree with this, but I feel like that's a disrespectful question to ask a stranger.
No.
Right. But I'm saying to me that would be disrespectful. So I wouldn't be interested in that kind of person.
I mean, sure, you can
Yeah.
have that standard. I think it would actually point to, though, like a guy who doesn't care about this, or maybe painted better. So a lot of guys will care about body count, but some of them, they'll still sleep with a girl with a high body count just because they want to hit. So as a woman, if a guy is showing that sort of curiosity about your sexual history, this could be used by you as an indicator that he actually sees long-term potential in you. He's not just trying to hit it. If he's asking these sort of qualifying or disqualifying questions, he's actually like, because dude, if a guy's just trying to fuck you, he doesn't care.
That's a really good point.
If a guy's just trying to sleep with you, he's not going to ask. He's not going to care. But if he starts asking you about your values, if he's asking you about like your body count, if he's asking you about these things that maybe you find offensive, like, oh, why does that matter? He's looking at you like, I'm assessing this girl like to date her. I want her to be my girlfriend. I want her to be my wife. So, I mean, you can look at it that way. I personally think when it comes to body count, it remains a perfectly acceptable metric and standard by which relationship-minded men can and frankly should be disqualifying women on. Sorry, that was weird.
I think
There's
that
a period. and
like
then
if a guy isn't concerned about that, that should be more of a concern for you, because like Brian said, he's not looking at that sort of like feminine virtue that would see you as a long-term partner. But if he's looking at you and not caring, or if he's even more just wondering, are you seeing anybody else right now? That is an indicator that he's looking for something temporary.
Okay, we're going to try to get through these last few things here as quick as possible. We have, let's see, one sec, notes here. 3 C's. You said something about the 3 C's. Tell us what the 3 C's are.
I think consideration, communication, and consistency are like the 3 major things in a relationship that can determine longevity. Because if someone's considering you in their actions, if they're being communicative consistently and they're providing like the same level of effort and consistency for you, then they're not like introducing you to a vibe they can't maintain. And I think that's showing you a lot of respect, and that's
I
major.
don't know, man. That sounds like a lot of work.